It's early in the season, so the best place to start is up here at 6,000 feet around Crater Lake. I'm on Highway 62. This is right where the PCT crosses. And you don't even need a pass or anything. You can park right out here. They plow this year round. I'm not sure what's going on in here. This is different and new. They used to just make a cut with the plows and you climb up and over and put your skis on right away. And now they're plowing it. Will they continue to plow it through the year, through the winter? I don't know. There's a building back here and a generator going, but it's not an outhouse. So just a loop. They only have one parking spot. Either way, if you want to get an early start in southern Oregon with skiing, come on up here to Crater Lake and enjoy the snow. So I found out what this is all about. This is the well and the generator powering it for the water for the whole park. And so this is middle November, just before Thanksgiving actually. He said in about a week they will be closing this down. I guess their water comes from somewhere else at that point. And so they will not be plowing this, but you can still park out on the road, just as always. Let's head down the PCT, shall we? So here's one thing to keep in mind during the fall and spring when the snow levels are low. The logs and stuff on any trail start to become uncovered or just not yet covered. So here we have, when I looked on the snow station, about 3 inches of snow water equivalent. I pay attention to that more because the snow depths are not always accurate on all these stations. And so you just have to learn in the different areas, whether it's shady, whether it's sunny, all that kind of stuff, what's going to be covered and what you can start guessing after a while what your terrain is like. At least this is a quite popular trail. I don't even bother coming up here on weekends to make sure I have a parking spot. But it's easy to navigate. You can see it's they've already made a little detour around it so you're not climbing up over the log. But anyways, just keep in mind the different conditions. It's totally different up here when there's 5 or even 10 feet of snow that's well packed and you're on top of everything and you don't even know what you're going over and it doesn't matter and you just glide along. Navigation on this part of the trail is super easy because it's so popular. Follow the tracks. There's almost always some there before you, and even after a fresh snowfall, it's usually pretty easy to see, as well as follow the diamonds. Crater Lake, there's sometimes blue. Up and down Oregon, there can be silver. And of course, every once in a while, you see the PCT emblem if you're on the PCT, but all the snow trails are marked. I'm about 3/4 of the way, 3/4 of a mile from the parking lot, and already the snowshoers have stopped. I'm gonna guess maybe another mile, and the skiers will stop because that's just typical. I rarely see any ski tracks beyond 2 or 3 miles from the trailhead. So out and back, simple navigation. Can't get lost, but it always is wise to bring GPS with you. So I'm over a mile in now. I'm going to be turning around because this is just my warm-up for the main event of my day. I'm headed back to the car, get my backcountry skis on and out of these Nordic skis, and then I'm going to climb up to Rim Village and I'll show you some more things up there. But as you keep going, especially over this next mile, and like I say, within a mile I'm sure the tracks will stop, but either way, the trees just get bigger. There's more ponderosas. Back there it opens up. You can head off to Union Peak. You can make your own trails. Especially right now it would be a little harder. You can see logs are sticking out. So you got the log cuts here. If you came back in, say, probably just next month, these would be half covered, all the way covered, something there. So anyways, I'm going to turn around and hopefully I have whetted your appetite to ski a little bit here on the PCT south of Highway 62 in Crater Lake National Park. I call these Dr. Seuss trees. Later in the season, these things will often have multiple spirals and they just seem to keep growing. And they look like they belong in Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs and Ham or something like that. Okay, you can see where I'm at, but only because it's not yet Thanksgiving. Give it another month, and that sign will be buried. So obviously I'm here at the junction of PCT and the Mazama Village Trail. PCT goes over there, almost due north. I am going to head just about due east and up Munson Ridge. So far, this plan seems to be good. I forgot to take note of my elevation back at the trail junction. Right now I'm at about 6370. I have definitely climbed at least a couple hundred feet, I think, and a couple hundred yards from that junction. And yeah, so far so good. I'm definitely headed east, even slightly southeast. When you leave the junction, don't go down. You might go 50 feet on the PCT and then up, or straight up from there, whatever. Head off generally east, because obviously you're going to be GPSing your way all the way up. So right now, I'm still on the small ridge leading to Munson Ridge. I'm now at 6550. So far, I'm really liking this route. Blowdowns are not bad at all, and of course they're going to disappear in a month. I'm now basically the final climb up to Munson Point, which is the shoulder of the ridge. It's hard to tell with the camera, I don't think you can, but I can see now the steep part's going to start taking place, but doesn't look too long, doesn't look too bad. I think this is going to be much better than the other one that I did a few years ago, because that had a lot of side hilling. So on this one, my recommendation, so far without exception, back there from the trail junction, don't do any side hilling. Go straight up the terrain. It'll take you east, and now it's taking me north up onto Munson Ridge. Okay, this is definitely the route. I'm already up here. This is Munson Point. So I'm within probably a couple 100 feet elevation of Rim Village, a couple miles to go. So, you know, it's a little bit of up and down, but no big climbs. The climb up here to Munson Point was not bad at all. Stay with the terrain. Don't go side hill. There will be a bluff even later in the season. So kind of hang to your west. But if on the west side of this, because the east side definitely at different points, according to the map and from what I'm seeing, it really drops off, whereas the west side is more gradual. But now here, I'm looking north up the ridge, and you can see it's not narrow. You're not worried about falling off or anything like that. And where I came, sorry for the dizziness, there I'm looking south where I just came from, and it as well is wide. So I'm thinking even going downhill, this may still be the best, because I was thinking of following the PCT down through that valley, but the trees are open, they're widespread, spread out up here, whereas there seem to be several patches where you just got all those small firs and their branches in your face, and you kind of got to pick your way through them. So obviously I'm not to Rim Village yet, but this is way better than what I did a few years ago, and this is the reason I tried this way. And so obviously I will be adjusting my recommended route. Well, everything can't be easy. Just came down this second point. It's the point just north of Munson Point, and I had to give up 100 feet without my skis on. Too rocky. Maybe with 5 more feet of snow, it could be manageable. It could be tricky though. Steep drop-offs off both sides. But we are coming down to a wide saddle down here. I think it's kind of hard to tell in the camera. But still, I like this route better so far. But looks like we have one more point to go over. So let's see how we do there. Well, I gotta confess my disappointment. The 3 points on the ridge after Munson Point, yeah, they require expert navigation and ski handling. If there's any kind of wind, there's a couple of spots where even at the beginning of the season, you can see where the wind is driving the snow, kind of making it into dunes and carving it out. When that stuff gets 5, 10, and 15 feet deep, yeah, that can be sometimes next to impossible to navigate up and down and everything else. The ridge got narrower and rockier in a couple of different points than I had expected, and of course, the map. They average things out, and it looks like it's going to be a nice gradual slope that gets wider, and no, it's these literal points and bluffs that drop off. So I'm going to go back down by the PCT and see if that's any better than the other one, but I can't recommend this route anymore, except as an alternative. There's always a reward for skiing at Crater Lake, but the best rewards are when the sky is blue, because then the lake is blue. The water is so clear, it takes on the color of the sky. So if you're able to arrange your visit with the weather, look for blue skies. Or partly cloudy also, it'll still be blue, and then you get all the white in there, and it really is quite something. Yeah, I was off trail. I think I probably should have crossed back there and just stay on the Dutton Creek Trail, the alternate PCT trail. It starts heading off into a ravine. So now I'm climbing back up and out so I can rejoin the trail. Okay, I'm at least a third, possibly half the way down. What I'm trying to show you is how I'm quote-unquote cheating. The diamonds, you can't count on them here. But hopefully, I'm trying to keep it in the center. You can kind of see an indentation in the snow. And for the first 2 or 3 feet of snowfall in the year, you can follow it because I think the trail gets warmer and then releases that heat back faster because it's not covered with vegetation. Yeah, I don't know how well this is doing. Right now it's very easy to see by eye, but I don't think it's showing up too well on the camera. Anyways, keep that in mind. Once you see it, you'll be able to see it very easily over and over. Here's another sign that will disappear in a month or so. I am west of where I took off this morning to go up Munson Ridge. So now I'm getting ready to go back this way, kind of south and east, and then I should find my tracks. And overall, this has been pretty easy so far. I'm not sure why I didn't take it before. It does require navigation. That's the only thing. So before you attempt this, get your navigation skills. If you're just going to go out and back, of course, it doesn't matter. But if you want to get from the parking lot to Rim Village or back or Rim Village down to the parking lot, yeah, you need navigation skills. Okay, ever since that last sign, this has been like an old road. Very easy to follow. Wide, clear, skirting around the valley. Now I'm going to turn 90 degrees. I was going southwest. Now, if I stay on the PCT, it makes a 90-degree left and starts going southeast. But it also, I'm looking on the topo, starts climbing the valley wall, kind of starting to get steep. What I'm doing is going to go straight. I'm going to go southwest. This road looks like it continues for a while. I could end up slapping myself in small trees. But I'm staying in the valley and then take the southeast kind of exit out of the valley. That looks like it's a more gradual slope. We'll see how it goes. Keep that in mind whether you stay on the PCT or try this one. Well, hello again, old friend. It's a nice thing about skiing, it is hard to get lost. You just follow your tracks back. Just make sure you don't do loops or cross over your trail. Out and back, and you'll be safe and warm in your car again. So here we are, last mile, whatever it is, back down to the highway and the parking lot. So it's been a good day.